Human rights activists called a great victory the decision to set up an international coalition that will deal with the return of Ukrainian children. It is not yet known which countries will join the coalition, but according to the head of the Ukrainian presidential office, Andriy Yermak, almost 30 states and international organizations worked on the initiative. The allies will jointly seek the return of all children abducted by Russia in the temporarily occupied territories of Ukraine.
Now we are already taking the first step to turn political initiatives into legal ones. And so creating a coalition to support the return of Ukrainian children can also help us create a single legal mechanism for the return of these children. Canada is the head of the Children and Armed Conflict Group within the United Nations, so it has all the contacts that are needed. It can also create a whole network of support for Ukraine from other states, and not only the global north, but also the global south.
Canada is actively imposing sanctions for organizing the mass deportation of Ukrainian children by Russia. For example, the Canadian sanctions list alone included Alexei Talai, the organizer of a network of so-called re-education camps for Ukrainian children on the territory of Belarus. Kyiv also cooperates with the countries of the global south. Thus, with the mediation of Qatar in October, it was possible to return 5 Ukrainian children from Russia. Diplomatic work is also being carried out with Latin American countries.
There are opportunities of cooperation with Latin America. This is not a futile option, as pessimists claim, saying that the global south will never support Ukraine. And if there is someone to work with, we will work. Our agenda in Latin America is the return of children, implementation of the peace formula, reforming the UN and countering Russian propaganda. Olena Kondratyuk, Deputy Chairman of the Verkhovna Rada of Ukraine, in an afterwards column for the Ukrainska Pravda.
Russia has set up an entire system of kidnapping and so-called re-education of Ukrainian children. According to human rights activists, at least 46 special camps are opening on the territory of the Federation. Another 7 camps are located on the territory of Russia-occupied Crimea and 8 in Belarus. According to the Ukrainian Presidential Commissioner for Children's Rights, Darina Gerasimchuk, children are deprived of access to information in these camps. They try to convince them that their parents have abandoned them. Children are subjected to psychological pressure. Since the beginning of 2023, more than 8,000 cases of abduction of Ukrainian children by Russia have been recorded. And in the territories temporarily occupied by the Russian army, the occupants are conducting propaganda work in the schools.
Now, during November-December, instead of Santa or St. Nicholas, children will be visited by occupiers, sometimes without arms and legs, and tell them what an honor it is to give an arm, a leg or a life for the sake of the so-called special military operation. In front of Mariupol children, the murderers will brag about the murders of their acquaintances and relatives and demand from children to be proud of it. Petro Andriushenko, advisor to Mariupol's mayor, on Telegram.
To draw attention to the problem and increase pressure on Russia, Ukraine is also using soft power. The premiere of the children's anti-war opera Brundibar, Voices of Children, was held in Kyiv as a part of President Volodymyr Zelensky's Bring Kids UA initiative. This opera was performed in 1943 in a concentration camp in Czech Republic. These are the stories of children who became victims of war. The Kyiv production includes children who survived the Russian occupation, children who lost their homes due to shelling by the Russian army, and children of the Ukrainian military. In the future, this anti-war opera will be shown abroad. Reported by Anastasia Tarnavska, Danila Kobza, UATV News.